Okay, well, I will turn it over to Josh to introduce today's program.
Okay, so the program today is Karen Hill. She is the director for the Cornelius Library. She's here to give us an update about how the library has been operating during the pandemic and then how they've been doing since their opening, I think over a year ago. If you can give a warm welcome for Karen Hill.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me all right? Okay, I'm going to share a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation on the screen. So I guess better hold your questions till the end because I don't know if I'll be able to see if you have questions in the middle. And then I'll come back on screen and we can chat a little bit. My name, as Josh said, is Karen Hill. I'm the library director and we are open. So come on down, sort of. The libraries in Washington County have been doing a lot of pretty interesting stuff. So can you see my screen there? It says, yes, we're open. You have that? I see a nod.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. So we are open at the library. We are open every day of the week, 7 days a week, and we include some evening hours there. Wednesday through Friday, we're open till 8, and we're open on the weekends. We are right now, after the freeze, we're only open for pickup of materials. So you can go online and order items and pick them up here in our lobby. And I'll tell you a little bit more about other services. This is all of our full-time staff here. So as Josh mentioned, we were just about ready to celebrate our first anniversary. So at the beginning of February, we were still pulling things together for the new building, and the cafe had its grand opening. And they're still open. They're open a few days a week, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, with specialty coffees and stuff. And they were just starting to get sort of their legs underneath them when March 17th, as you know, the governor issued the stay-at-home orders. So we closed, and it's hard to imagine right now, but we were thinking, okay, we've closed for 2 weeks, everything will get better, we'll go back. Well, of course, that didn't happen. So we canceled our first anniversary celebration and sent everybody home to be safe and started figuring out how we could make this work. And you may know that the Cornelius Library is part of the Washington County Library System. So we don't operate completely independently, but the city still has authority over what we do. So we are working along with the other libraries and our city to decide how to provide services. So by April 30th, we, as well as many of the other libraries, started providing services online. Our first one was our book club. And then by June 8th, we had figured out how we could provide books to people in a safe, non-contact way. So at that time, we had people coming to our back door and calling us, and we would deliver books to them. By July, we realized that, especially for our community, that people without computers had a really hard time getting any kind of service from us. And some of the library services are pretty critical. So we found a way to let people come inside the building to either use a computer or to browse for materials. So that was going along. We were doing this by appointment, and the smoke caused us to close for a while. And then, of course, the new freeze. And right now we're sort of in that recovering from the freeze of COVID. And we're thinking that in March, we'll be able to reopen again for appointments. So as we have gone through this transition, we, like you folks, have all had to learn how to Zoom. And it was quite a challenge, really, to think how we could provide programs. We were providing about 80 programs a month before COVID. And we had to, think about how we could provide programs online. The image you're looking at here shows a craft program that our librarian was doing, and the one on the right is the book club. So then, we decided, okay, we've got to have people in the building to access these materials. So we had to rearrange our physical space, and we've done that. I don't know how Forest Grove has done it. I haven't been into their library recently, but we got rid of all of our furniture and locked all of our individual rooms. And when we let people come in, we do it in a way that will clean up after them. And so we have to minimize what they possibly can touch. So we are limiting how many people can come in and where they can go, so that not only is the public safe, but so are the staff. The in-person services, let's see, that's better. The in-person services, we focus on safety, but as you can see here from the image, we ask people to either sanitize their hands or wear gloves. Of course, they have to wear a mask all the time, but we were allowing one person at a time to use the computers. They could also get a library card by popping in here. They could get help from a librarian either by phone, email, or again in person, browse for books and movies, or use a computer. And these services, you can imagine, if you don't have a smartphone or a device where you can go online, some of these are really important. People are coming into the library to apply for jobs, apply for unemployment insurance. We've had people that, it's just heartbreaking. We had a homeless guy come in here. He was just the nicest fellow, and he was trying to fill out a job application on his smartphone, and it was not easy. So people just really depend on the free access that the libraries provide. And so we were working towards making that happen. So for the last half of last year, there's a few stats there. We issued 177 new cards. We answered 2,400 questions. We checked out 25,000 items. And of those appointments, we had 354. In October is when we were sort of got our pattern down and our patrons used to how that all worked. And we had 113 people coming in October for computer or personal services. And that's compared to, for checkouts before COVID, we were hitting about 10,000 a month. So, obviously much smaller group there. So right now, we've got services for pickup. So you can get books and movies or anything the library owns by going online and placing it on hold. You can return books. We have a couple book drops 24/7. Books can come back. You may have heard that the county has decided to get rid of fines. So we're going to stop charging fines for people. Something important is people doing printouts. Things are changing now rapidly, I think, because of COVID and the no touch, but it wasn't long ago when people needed to print out like a plane ticket to get things moving. And if you don't have a computer or a printer, there's very few options out there. So libraries are popular for that. We also started providing some take-home crafts. So library programming was the biggest way we reached out to people previously. And we wanted to still encourage people to do something, and we really wanted to provide something for young people to do that didn't involve the computer, since they're online a lot for school. So we've put together kits, and we provide 30 or 40 kits per week that folks can come and pick up. And we do things like origami, art, a lot of STEM stuff, building a bridge with jelly beans. And we provide everything that the person needs, put it in a bag, and they can pick it up and take it home. For the adult programs, once a month, we do a program where you take all of the materials home, and then you can go online to Zoom and interact with the librarian, and she'll teach you how to put that item together. The last one was a snow globe that you could make at home. And then for a long time, probably 6 or 7 years now, the Cornelius Library has been lending out laptops. And so we're continuing to do that. It's been a really in-demand service. And just recently, like many libraries in the county, we're lending out hotspots as well. So we have 10 we're lending out, and the foundation is purchasing another 20. Those are very popular among folks. So here's a few stats for that. The gingerbread houses from the picture before, we had gingerbread house kits. So it had everything a child needed to make a gingerbread house. We made 100 kits, and they were all picked up within 2 hours. So we also were providing services outside the library, and having COVID really drove that need home to be out there. But a lot of folks don't come to the library because they don't have a car, or we find that caregivers often have many children under their care, and they don't have a vehicle that they can transport all those kids in. So we did some pop-up libraries where we went to the local parks. That's that first picture there where a child is looking pretty excited about being able to check out a book. They could check out books, return them, get new library cards, or just chat with the librarian. And then you may know that Cornelius began its own farmers market last year. That began in July on Fridays. And we were able to participate in that. And that was a really good source for us to communicate with the community and provide our summer reading program, where we gave away a free book to kids and encouraged them to read over the summer. We just recently started doing live tours of the library for kids. So we've been issuing library cards to whole classes at Echo Shaw and Cornelius Elementary School. And then one of our librarians goes online and walks them through the building and tells them all about the stuff that is available here. And finally, we are going to start a new program called Library to You. We're going to start it with the senior housing above the library building, but then go out to other senior locations where we will provide a basket of books that they can borrow for a few weeks and return, and we'll keep coming back once a month and refreshing that collection. So they know it's safe and they don't have to go out to a library. And there's a few stats on that. So the farmers market was really popular. We were able to contact 439 people there, mostly giving away free books to adults and kids for the summer reading program. I think we had 100 people participate in the adult summer reading program, and we had 961 separate kids sign up for the children's summer reading program. Let's go on to the next one. Oops, I went too fast. So because we're a partner with the county, there are many 24/7 services as well. If you go to wccls.org, that lists a whole bunch of events that are available. Those come from all the different libraries. So there's 13 libraries, and you can see if there's events that you might be interested in. You find we have like a knitting group, we have book clubs, we have art programs, and many of those things are live online programs, but they also have some pre-recorded things. Like one of the fun ones to go look at is Story Time with Goats, which is Sherwood's library. The Sherwood Library provides that. Super popular right now with people who have a lot of technology are ebooks. And you can download those right from the screen and start reading right away. We also have, through the county, a program called Canopy, and it has thousands of videos you can watch streaming on demand. A lot of those are educational or older videos, as opposed to like blockbusters you would get on like Netflix. But there's many other resources there, including learning languages, and job skills courses. really helpful stuff from, you know, a 20-minute course on Excel to how to program in C++. So here at our library, since July, we've provided 97 events online with our 3 staff, and our ebook use went up 50%. In Cornelius, our usage has been low compared to others in the county, but now we've had over 7,000 ebooks checked out from Cornelius patrons. And besides all that, we're doing our regular work. Some libraries sort of put a hold on some of their activities. Some of them laid staff off. We laid our staff off for a few weeks, but were able to bring them back when we started providing in-person services. So the first picture there shows our stacks of books. So that's one busy day. We had several thousand books that we processed and sent out to other libraries. Those are things that either are going home to their library or that people have ordered from our collections. And the libraries across the county have done all sorts of variations on hours and services. And so each library is a little bit different. Some libraries are still not open every day. They're spreading their staff out and stuff. But we're here, we're open 7 days a week still. We're still purchasing new material constantly. We bought 3,000 items since July and put those out into the collection. And one of the things we're really proud of is when we purchase materials, we purchase about 20% of those items in Spanish because of our community. There's a lot of people who read in Spanish. And over the last year, we still had some funding to do for the new building. And we were able to complete that. The city was able to pay off the entire bill. So all $5.7 million has been funded for the building. And locally, the foundation has raised some money, just about as much as you guys did in your last project. In December, we raised over $18,000. And just in January, we had a couple of really nice, generous donors that have added another $18,000 to that. So we're feeling pretty lucky here, and it's just wonderful to visit with the folks that come to the library. People are really happy we're here, and we're really looking forward to expanding our services and hoping, at least in the summer, to have some more outdoor programs in person. If not, maybe a few indoor ones. We'll see how that goes. So that's what I have for you. Does anyone have any questions? I see Janine. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Janine Merle with CNN. I have 3 questions. Obviously, I'm watching too much TV.
Yeah.
The first one is, when is the conference room going to be open again for groups to use it for meetings? Of course, in-person meetings are sketchy at the moment, but I assume that that's going to happen at some point. The other 2 things I'm looking for is, in your outreach services slide, what opportunities are there for Rotary to partner with this library to reach those folks with some, is there opportunities there for partnership? Last question is, you talked about Wi-Fi hotspots, and it seems to me I saw a news article about in bigger urban environments like Chicago, where they had these great big huge apartment complexes where the kids had no Wi-Fi. So somebody bought a baby bus, outfitted it with Wi-Fi, and set it in the parking lot so the kids could hook up to the bus, and that's how they got their Wi-Fi. Can you talk if that's a need or an opportunity in Cornelius?
Yes. Okay. So let's start with the conference room, and the answer to when will that be available is I don't know. Right now, we're using half of the conference room. You remember it could be split up. We're using half of it to quarantine materials. So when somebody returns a book, we put it into quarantine for 24 hours, just in case there's some kind of virus on it. So that's in use for the time being. And I'm guessing this is really kind of a local decision. So I'm guessing when the city feels like we can meet in person for other things like city council meetings and that, you know, it's a big room, so we could put 20 people in there and space them apart with masks, but we don't want to, you know, jump ahead of any kind of safety regulations. The next question you had was about outreach and how Rotary might be able to help. I hadn't thought of that, and I might place that back on you guys to think about how you could help us. You know, there's one thing that the school has offered to do, and that is to help us promote our activities out in the community. So there's the possibility of helping us promote something as well as provide a space. So the pop-up libraries were really successful. The first one we had 43 people come to, and you know, they hadn't heard much about it. There's not a lot of publicity, but it was at Harleman Park, and it was in the summer months, and people saw it and were just so excited. And it's full service. You can get a library card and check out materials. David Warner with the school said he'd be happy to help promote that so that students know they could go somewhere like that. Harleman Park and Dogwood are both, you know, on the other side of town from Cornelius. So it's hitting people that might not be able to walk or drive all the way up to the library itself. So, you know, if you had ideas where we could go to, or if you could help us promote that, that would be pretty helpful. We plan on starting those again in March as well. And your third question was Wi-Fi. Oh, Wi-Fi has been really popular. So we're sort of just learning how to lend out a hotspot, because it's a little tricky. You have to have a password and stuff. But kids, of course, can figure it out pretty easy. So we have 10 right now that are all checked out, and we're purchasing another 20 more from the donations that we got through the foundation. And I've heard about that bus as well. People, you know, they need access for school. I mean, that's been really critical. Forest Grove School District gave away, lent out 600 hotspots, and they still had a waiting list for kids that need them. And we're pretty lucky. I think Banks has a little trouble with coverage, but we're pretty lucky in Cornelius. We have really good coverage. The hotspots are, they're pretty high quality in terms of the service. They don't throttle down, which a lot of our personal services, when it gets busy, they make things go slower, not these, and a whole family can connect at once. So we're still learning a little bit about the hotspots, but they're awesome, and we're providing them to anyone 16 or over that can come in and get a library card and borrow them. All right, thanks, Janine. Anyone else? I can't see everyone either, so you can speak up. Mr. Crisp.
Yeah, I don't have a question, but I'd like to make a comment. I think the last few years that Cornelius has done a lot to improve their city. They've done a lot of remodeling, and it's growing, and you should be proud of the way it appears today as compared to just a few years ago.
Yes, I would agree. I meet once a month with the department heads, and I know you've had Brian Wells out here speaking to you all, and he is doing an amazing job getting people interested in building in the community. And the farmers market's going to continue again, and that is in our plaza and the alley of the library. Mm-hmm. So it's very exciting to see that happening. And, you know, we have some big plans soon. We're going to restart having our concerts. We had occasional concerts in the courtyard, and like Janine was mentioning, the rooms were very, very popular. So we're really looking forward to restarting those again, as well as, you know, you look around all the different new houses in the area, there are like more than 1,000 homes coming into Cornelius, and we're hoping that that'll, you know, help get some more interesting places to eat and drink around here as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen any different trends in what people are checking out and reading and researching in the last, let's say just in the COVID time in the last year or so? Definite trends?
I have not seen any trends. We still get all sorts of things. I think Cornelius specifically, we were very much a popular library, so people like to check out popular materials. But there's a lot of families in our town, and children's books are really popular. One of the new services we've done is we call them bundles, and we'll go to the children's area and grab a whole bunch of books on something like trains. Who had a baby here? So, something that a child might be interested in, and we bundle those together because right now they can't go look for books, and browsing the computer catalog for books has been very difficult. If you know what you want, it's fine. But if you want something on a topic, it's a lot harder. And of course, not everyone has the internet to browse anyway. So we're providing all of those popular materials. We put them right out front so you can almost browse when you just pop in. But pretty much the same materials. Miss Janine.
The trolley that you helped me get out of McMinnville for my office, if you have books that you're not going to keep on your shelves because they're expired or something, I'll take a bag or a box and put them on my trolley, because at Christmas time people came all the time to take those free books off my trolley, and so it just keeps people reading who may feel like they can't afford to read.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Thank you. I'll do that. We also are still getting donations. The Friends of the Library, there are several members of the Friends of the Library group are people who are really isolating for their health. And so we are not doing book sales, and we haven't done those. So we have kind of an excess of books. So I would love to deliver some to you for giveaway. We got a big collection of cookbooks that are nice, but they probably wouldn't check out here. So I'll send them down. All right, well, if there's no more questions, I really appreciate you letting me talk to you today. And just know all the libraries are open a little bit. And by March, we're hoping we'll get more people back in here. And I just appreciate you letting me talk, and thanks for all your support.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much for being here. Libraries are such an important part of any community, and the fact that not only is Cornelius growing, but to have invested in the library, it's just really remarkable, and it speaks to the future of Cornelius and those of us that can also access it. So thank you so much for being here.